Hey, yo, what's up? Back at you with another video. I'll be wearing these shades because I'm a bit upset. This is day number 44 of non-stop drops. I've been getting on camera every single day for 44 days and it's changing my life. Thank you to all of you who are subscribed. Today we're looking at a video by somebody that we've covered before. His name is Joe Emilio, and his show is called Newsflash with Joe Emilio. We picked him up the first time when he was picking up Nota for that first initial ground zero explosion when Nota went on DJ Spoo's The Hustler's Corner and he spoke about people's DNA, some being subhuman, etc., etc. So we are here now listening to a pipsqueak who is taking the side of white people being arrested quickly, being dealt with much more thoroughly, being unable to exist in this South Africa while the black people like Nota are still walking the streets free, not arrested, and the whole list of YouTubers who could go and open this case and then jump back on camera and say that we've got him. They're not opening a criminal injury case. But once again, just like the Willem Petzers and the Ronaldo Hoses, I'm calling you, Emilio, perhaps you're in South Africa, to go and open a case at the police station against Nota.
For those of you who think that I only call out black racists and not white racists, well then stick around. You're gonna want to watch this one.
And then thereafter, I would start to see a number of people locally and abroad picking his name up for the first time. And so I zoned in on him and I looked at him wondering, is this a coordinated effort? Are there now content creators from the United States who just saw this as an opportunity in the same way that I did? When I started doing this content 44 days ago, I spoke and said that I see this as an evergreen topic that will move. The tensions between South Africa and the United States seem to be ones that won't just be vaporized and they disappear and we go back to real life. Trump will be looking at this country, his entire administration, so there's like 5 years of fuel over here. So knowing that, I asked myself, is Joe Emilio somebody on the other side of the ocean who has spotted this opportunity? This is the YouTube game. And in the previous video where I spoke about Chris Wyatt and the possibility of him being caught in Nota's net now, him now being made a participant. And Chris Wyatt now is responding to Nota, whom I believe is now caught inside Nota's net. I've mentioned before that there's a desire by the USA to view us as these crazy cannibals, as these insane savages. They really desire to see us like that. And there are some who can see a market to give that response, to say, okay, so you want to see savagery? All right, for clicks, if I can get some views out of it, if I can get some controversy going, hell, I'll participate in it. What you don't understand is the power of Nota, and I'm going to demonstrate it today, this being a part 1, and there will be a part 2 video where we look at another one who's called RM Ma, and he's actually sounding like an Irish dude with a deep Irish located accent. Is it Irish? What other? Or Scot? No, that doesn't sound like a Scottish accent. That sounds very Irish.
This is not an issue to sit on the fence. This is something that needs to be spread, shared and talked about. And the more we see weak, puny little cretins like Nota open that orifice at the front of his face, the more they get exposed. Delusional attention seeker Nota Belay has gone viral again yesterday. Calling for the slaughter of white people if they don't assimilate. Elon Musk has been going back and forth with the South African government over on X for the last couple of days. After Julius Malema sang the song again, Trump has gotten involved. He's retweeting Elon Musk of what Elon Musk believes to be a white genocide.
And so you will see the grift. You will see the game. I cannot hide it from you, ladies and gentlemen. I've already revealed this. There is money on the table. There's incentive over here. This is media. This is the show business. If you don't know what you are working with over here, Nota is a powerful figure. Don't play with him. If you are a YouTuber and you are uploading a video, for example, and you are now hashtagging your video so that the algorithm can understand where about in the world your video should be dropped and delivered to an audience. If you type hashtag Nhlamulo Baloyi, you will see there how many videos online have used that hashtag and on how many channels. I think from what I saw last time, hashtag Nhlamulo Paloi was saying like 400 channels. So don't mess around. If you are seeing the Joe Emilios, the RM Mars, the Colonel Chris Wyatts, and the Gatlejos all gravitating towards his name, you understand that they know the game. They know the power of his hashtag. I experienced his power for the first time when I asked him to come and be on my podcast. I was seeing very minimal, very low numbers until he came and a hurricane of South Africans arrived on my channel and they departed with him afterwards. Now, Pulushi Street Kids DVC, the illegal podcast coming to you from West Street, Kempton Park. Today, we got a special guest over here, man. He's a man like I've never seen before. He's a character like from the comics. He's a Renaissance man in my definition. Nota, how are you, my brother?
I'm good, thanks. How you doing?
Hola. And I'm with Sipo over there. What's up, Sipo?
I'm alright, man. He's actually here.
He's actually here. It's Nota right here. I mean, his video, his interview pretty much allowed my podcast channel that I was doing at the time to pretty much monetize. And the following video, I earned money for it. He pretty much took us from 0 to 1,000 and we got there. We made it. So I am going to be fully opening up about the machine that you are now looking at. I'm going to be actually recommending. There's somebody who came in my comments. Let's have a look at that comment before we just hop into the video. Somebody criticized me honestly, and I think I should come out and be honest that, hey, look, there's few things to do in this life. There are few opportunities. I myself am feeling very privileged to be seeing and understanding YouTube. A lot of people are 9 to 5 minded. When they are looking for solutions in their life, when they are looking to get out and be productive, a lot of people, young people especially, still see the workplace, leaving home in the morning like their parents did. They still look and idealize that life, and their blood, their fiber, their muscles just yearn for this practice of going to a workplace. A lot are still oblivious to the YouTube app that they are looking at. A lot do not imagine themselves being on there and making a name for themselves and becoming something in the honest and right way. And even as you approach with an honest mindset to speak the truth at all time, you will realize that certain characters, certain people, certain topics are fed more by the algorithm. It is the algorithm that does this to us. It is the algorithm that makes the game what it is. If Nota has been on 400 channels and you put that hashtag in your video and you actually have him in your video and you are actually talking about him, the algorithm will give more preference to him being that high hashtag than somebody else who is irrelevant and is speaking some wisdom. So with that being the case, with YouTube making us live this way and cover certain people, with it prioritizing certain people more than others, as you come to YouTube to make a name for yourself, to put your voice out there, especially in this commentary genre, you will find now those who know the game, those who've been in the game, those who woke up 7 or 8 years, close to 10 years ago, the Notas, who went on all the platforms, who've monopolized a certain hill, who've made names for themselves, and you will become attracted to making content about them. And you will find yourself succeeding because the internet wants more of Kim Kardashian. It wants more of Nota. You understand? So let's read this comment and you'll understand that I admit and you've got me. It comes from Art to the Max, and he says, maybe you'll also get lucky by using Chris Wyatt versus Nota to get rich. You know you are doing exactly what you're objecting to, right? So I was critical of Chris Wyatt in my previous video doing this, engaging in this machine, spamming, pressing this button that he understands that, hey, you press this button, money comes out. You know, as you press it twice, money comes out twice. Eventually, people start realizing, okay, I can only press this thing so many times with my natural hand, and so much money is a maximum that I can receive. Let me go get a tool. Somebody will show up with a vibrator, and now they're able to press the button at a much higher frequency and make that money much faster. So you've got me. I understand what is happening. I understand the trap. I understand the allure. But to the best of my ability, I hope to bring you cleanliness. I hope to point out what is wrong in these things, even as I capitalize. I have not made it a secret that I am a capitalist. And I should keep on thinking my position as I go through life, because these things can capture you. Money is a drug. Nota is one of the most powerful drugs out there currently.
All right, once again, ladies and gentlemen, Nota is back in the news because he said some more outlandish stuff. He's trying to go around, I get the feeling that he's trying to go around and claim that he's not a racist, that he's not this horrible person, free speech, blah, 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 blah. But, I mean, I gotta show you what he just said, and then you gotta be the judge if what he said was right, wrong, within the parameters of free speech. I don't know. Let's get into it.
Listen properly.
When you get into a taxi, you sit down before you get in.
Did I hear that correctly? Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Newsflash. I'm your host, Joe Emilio. Thanks for tuning in.
White people came here. They need to assimilate to our culture, not the other way around. It's bad enough we speak their language with a proficiency that they cannot even muster.
What I feel like Nota intentionally says this stuff, right? Because that's like a very backhanded comment. Like he's trying to say like, oh, black people speak English better than the white people can, or British people can, or whatever. Which, I mean, yeah, sure. Definitely there are some well-spoken black people, but there's also some well-spoken colored people, Indian people, you know. I feel it's quite a racist thing to say that if you speak a language well, then you are somehow superior than the other. And this is what he's implying, right? He's saying like, well, we speak English better than they do. Anyway, that's not the horrible thing that he says in this clip. It's coming. Watch this.
But they still need to assimilate to our culture. They need to assimilate to Ubuntu. That's the only way in which we can coexist within this environment. Otherwise, we will slaughter all of them. Drive.
Do you hear that? Yeah. Let's just play it again.
Environment. Otherwise, we will slaughter all of them. Drive them to the sea. Literally.
Slaughter all of them. Drive them into the sea. Now, he does try to quickly backtrack, I think because his little brain realized, you know, what he had just said. So let's let the rest of this play. Let's just see how this unfolds.
Cue here Chris Wyatt giving this take as well.
And then watch the coward back away from it and try to cover himself because he realized what he just stepped into. He realized he just stepped in the crap.
So you're starting to see the game. Joe Emilio only published his video 6 hours ago. I have already done my reaction to Colonel Chris Wyatt a day ago. And so he's very late. He's now gone and watched Colonel Chris Wyatt's reaction so that he can react like him. This is how grifty it really gets. This is how easy it is to make money on YouTube. I'm showing you the matrix. I am Neo, by the way.
See how this unfolds.
Actually, it might not be me. It might not be me calling for it.
I'm not a part of that thing. I'm just allowing him to talk.
No, I'm just saying. It might not be me. It might not be me calling for that. In fact, if white people are being driven to the sea, I'm least likely to be in the front lines driving them to the sea.
Liar. I can tell you right now, Nota, that nobody believes you. And you probably would be at least in the second line or third line. You might not be in the first line, but you might be somewhere there. I'm sure you would happily jump onto that bandwagon if that started to happen.
Right? Because of my disposition. But
What is your disposition?
as in, I'm a privileged black person in this country.
So why would you want to drive white people to the sea if you're just as privileged as they are?
The majority of black people.
He used a term jumping on the bandwagon. So somebody who speaks like that, who uses that term, clearly knows this defining term of jumping on a hot moving vehicle. And that means hopping on a trend. So he himself, when he spotted Colonel Chris Wyatt and Ronaldo reacting, he was probably in his mind, he said in his inner voice, let me hop on this Nota bandwagon. So now he's pointing at Nota, saying Nota would hop on the bandwagon of pushing people to the sea. Listen to what he's talking about Nota, and in his words, listen to who he is.
Right, have been oppressed by white people and the white system. And if at any point they decide that they want to drive people to the sea, I will not discourage them.
Okay, so there's a lot to unpack here, but I think the biggest thing is that he first he says he's not going to call for it, right? He's not going to call for the slaughter of white people. Where does that sound familiar?
I'm saying to you, we have not called for the killing of white people, at least for now.
And again, Nota says he's not the one that's going to call for it. So he's
You all know in my Chris White video, I also clipped this in. So this dude must have watched my video as well. By the way, these are Julius Malema's words. So Nota might be stepping on Julius Malema's exact footprints so that if anything is said to him, he'll say, but Julius has said exact same thing. He said, we're not calling for white people to be slaughtered as yet.
I don't know what's going to happen in the future. I'm saying to you, we have not called for the killing of white people, at least for now.
And now he's fourth line reactor after watching the third and second line of reactors after Nota the source. This is the game, y'all.
referring to Malema, who, you know, is constantly on the stage saying kill the poor. I don't know. I'm speculating. And he says that he will not be in the line to drive white people to the sea, but at the same time, he won't discourage it. Well, then you might as well be in the line. That's like seeing a murder happening and not doing anything about it makes you an accomplice. Now, some of you might be rolling your eyes and saying, Joe, why do you give this guy airtime? Why do you give him more attention? Blah, blah, blah. Listen, I thought about this long and hard before doing this video. And the truth is, we do have to call people like Nota out. We have to call out the dangers of what he's saying. Now, I know some of you free speech absolutists.
So, y'all, listen, I got accused earlier, right, of hopping on a bandwagon in the comment. And we are now finding Emilio's justification of why he does this. So this is not all for the money. There's a cause behind it. This is the way that YouTube wants us to handle our issues. YouTube wants us to come out and all say something about a particular thing. Use a certain hashtag that is already hot. So he's kind of saying there's no way to avoid this. There's no way of not playing into this. There's no way that you can ignore Nota as a white person. You have to pitch in. You have to call this out. That's what activism is. That is what being cognizant and protecting of your community is. And so, am I wrong now to invite young black people to say, yo, look, we are constantly going out trying to get jobs. What if you secured yourself a camera and a mic and a light with all your life? Do that. Get on camera. Understand this formula. When you see wrongs, call them out. When you see Nota, call him out. If an American kid is making money about a South African dude, why would you play yourself and not jump in and say, yo, as a South African, I've just been listening to Nota. I'm an 18-year-old kid. This is my mindset. This is who I'm seeing the brother as. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and you give that take. There'd be many 18-year-olds willing to listen to you. If you're 25, there'd be 25-year-olds like you wanting to listen. I'm 35. The metrics in my channel show that I'm being listened to by people of my age up until 45. That's the most. And I am getting watched and listened to by younger audiences. So this is an opportunity for everybody. This is an opportunity of a lifetime. Nota is the bandwagon. Hop on, call him out. Then go out and call out others as well who are white racists. Those who have an agenda for your mind. Those who are trying to lift themselves up while they put you down. Speak for yourself. Respond for yourself. Go after Katejo's videos. Speak what you feel about them. If you believe that, hey, we must take responsibility, we as black people are 1, 2, 3, I agree with Katejo. Do that by speaking about yourself. Do that by speaking about yourself. And let the people know how you are actually a change. I think that would be the best grift ever. If you come out and you honestly say that this is how I feel, this is who I honestly am, and this is how it turns out in my everyday life, right? So those who are willy-nilly fake supporting AfriForum and who are hopping on the bandwagon of being the black person who is standing up for the Afrikaners, because that's another grift. You can milk a lot of money out of Afrikaners by coming online and playing the black child who loves the Afrikaner culture, you know, who loves AfriForum, who wishes that there would be a pig in Orania just so that the master can give you some bread there with your fellow piglets over there. You can get a lot of money out of doing that. But what I'm saying is come out and be honest, because if you grift in the wrong direction and you grift too hard, it will start to show. Or nah, this person only says this. This person only posts these videos. And then we will start to see a class of those who are not really trying, those who are just slacking, trying to get easy money. Competition will solve that problem. That's one thing you learn about capitalism. A lot of us will come onto the platform. Some will be slackers, some will be low quality, some will be cheap grifters, and those who stand out now and speak from their heart, speak from the truth, and show it in their actual personality and their actual lived life, and it can be testified by the people around them. Those ones will be the victors, and the other ones will fall off. We'll see a whole lot of right-wing grifters fall off. We'll see a whole lot of left-wing grifters just fall off, and there will be this economy that black people can participate in. I'm saying, come on to this, come call things out. You might make it.
So be like, oh, there's nothing wrong with what he said. Well, luckily we don't live in a free speech absolutist world. There are ramifications for what you say. And here's an example, because you'll remember in a previous video, he called white people Neanderthals, and he dehumanized white people. And I explained why that's a problem in the previous video. If you want to go watch it, go watch it. And some of you might think that, well, nothing happened. It was harmless. No. The dehumanization can spread. And here is an example. Because not too long ago, the City Press editor-in-chief called AfriForum in solidarity when they went to go see Trump or the Trump administration. He called them Neanderthals. Here's a clip
of those Neanderthals in
You see how Nota catches on. You see now. You see. This is undeniable, ladies and gentlemen. I close my case. I don't have to explain anymore. This is how the world strangely works. I think, just wiggle your eyes a little bit, adjust your vision, knock your brain and start to comprehend. This might be new to you, but this is what Hollywood actually is and how it operates. What we've been indoctrinated by, what we've been watching on our TVs, the reality TV stars who have been on our screens and the attention that we've been giving them. This thing that we have for idolizing certain people. Nota is an idol. We are getting swept by the natural or unnatural forces that make us behave this way. It's the algorithm, it's the media industry, it's we ourselves who cover and comment on this. We are making this story together. We are all writing the script. Every single last one of us who's participating in this is holding the pen and we are writing a story together. And so I say, if that be so, let it be so. Hop on. Nota is hot stock.
In AfriForum and in solidarity of those Neanderthals in AfriForum and in solidarity.
And I condemn calling people Neanderthals. We are all human, created in God's image.
Now you have people in mainstream media calling other white people Neanderthals, dehumanizing a race. And this is very dangerous territory. So yes, on the one hand, Nota, who is a failed rapper, might be just trying to ruffle some feathers and get some likes and some shares and some, views on social media. But there's no doubt that what one person can say can definitely influence another. Now, can Nota go to court for what he just said? Probably not. I don't think it will hold up in court, especially in the South African courts. I mean, should there be an attempt to take him to court? I think so. I think there should be. But maybe not for this conversation, but at least for the last conversation. But again, I've updated you guys. In the last conversation, the Human Rights Commission said that they're going to take him to court and they want him to apologize. They want him to, I don't know, pay a fine of some sort or whatever. It's a slap.
So you understand that the Human Rights Commission has fixed their attention on him. They've seen him. There's a process probably undergoing. We don't know. We will see how that turns out. If the Human Rights Commission can go to the newspaper and issue a statement about him and tweet about him, and you watch Joe Emilio's talk about him, and you just sit by waiting for your CV to get a response. You want to see a landline ringing. You're still living that black life where you're not helping yourself. I think you'd be an idiot not to jump on this. Jump on this. Just don't come here and be an idiot.
Pay a fine of some sort or whatever. It's a slap on the wrist, right? But apparently, if a white guy makes a video trying to make an example and show why calling...
And realize the race hustle here. Ronaldo Jose is constantly getting defended while Nota is getting blasted. So you are being coaxed now by the deeper spiritual powers. Now there's real hatred here. Now there's real black versus white. It's not just now covering Nota. Now you're following Nota and the racism that he's involved in, that he's speaking, and the racists who are responding to him, the racists who are protecting the racists they love while they condemn him as a racist. People in my comments also say, why am I not calling out Nota, etc.? I've called out Nota. I don't continue to defend him. I don't continue defending him. You will never see me say, but Ronaldo Jose. When there's a new racist who has done something, I'm looking at that case, not trying to compare it with another person. I'm looking at this person, what they've said, their merit, and I wait and would like for procedures to happen on that person. To look at Nota, condemn him, and then go now and exonerate Ronaldo Jose constantly, you'll see that this is what Joe Emilio will do. You'll see that this is what Colonel Chris White will do. You'll see that every time he condemns Nota, he will constantly raise Vicky Momberg as a martyr. One of our fallen comrades who merely spoke with her voice. She didn't harm anyone. This is what inflames libertarians, because libertarians believe that words are not things that are offensive. It's freedom of speech to its best limit. Although Joe Emilio here is trying to say, there's no freedom of speech absolutism. These people believe in freedom of speech absolutism. They believe in Vicky Momberg saying what she's saying. They believe in Ronaldo Jose doing that video and saying the things that he said there. However, they'll come here and say to you, you Nota, you black people and the rules that we give for you, you cannot say that. And then they'll, right in your face, exonerate another racist to really show you that this is a spiritual and numbers game here. There's a force. If you come here, it's going to drag you to becoming an extremist. These people will be extreme so that you can come in and be extreme. They want you to defend Nota the way that they are defending Ronaldo Jose. That aspect, you must never fall for it.
Calling for the killing of Boers is dangerous, and that individual uses foul language or the K word, well, immediately, apparently, that's just super unacceptable. And that individual is shamed across the country, loses his job, and at the same time, the Human Rights Commission is vehemently fighting against him and taking him to court. Regardless of where you sit on freedom of speech, and don't get me wrong, I definitely advocate for freedom of speech, but I do think there needs to be some limitations. Regardless of where you sit on that, though,
there needs to be some limitations for others. So he believes in it on and off. He can choose. He's non-binary. He's bi. And whatever position suits him at the time, suits him. And he's now teaching you to conform to a certain restriction. And he's saying, but there are no restrictions. This is how Satanists speak, ladies and gentlemen. If you should now know what spiritual forces I'm talking about about Satanists. Liars.
Though, you gotta admit, there's a hell of a double standard. Because now this is the second time that Nota is allowed to say very horrible things about.
He's got double standards. He lives by double standards. He's got notes somewhere that say, thou shalt have two tongues. One which speaks this and one which speaks the opposite of that. Thou shalt keep people constantly confused about who you are. Thou shalt tug them by their heartstrings, and then thou shalt slap them.
About a certain race in South Africa, and almost nothing gets done to him. And as I just showed you, some of the things he says does get repeated. So you gotta wonder, the idea of driving white people to the sea, is that gonna catch on? And if it does, do we point the finger at Nota? You be the judge, you let me know in the comment section below, ladies and gentlemen. And while you're there, also don't forget to leave a like on this video, share it far and wide, and also consider becoming a member to this channel. It really goes a long way to supporting me and this channel and helping me to produce content for you guys. And if you can't become a member, that's okay. Please consider giving a super thanks or sasa thanks, as we call them on this channel. With all that being said, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for watching. Your newsflash is in.
And I'll end it right there. Like, share, comment, subscribe, and I will see you in the next one on this grift.